So yesterday morning, I was trying to change tires on one of my trailers. So these trailer tires have given me a problem, trying to break the bead. So what I did was, I went online and I found this little tool, right, that breaks the bead. I said, let me give it a try. Before shooting this video, I tried it on the first tire to see how good it works, and it works. And once I saw how well it worked and how quickly it broke the bead, I figured let me shoot a video of it in action. The tools and materials that I used are listed in the video description below, and they are affiliate links. So what that means is, if you decide to purchase one of the items through the links below, I may earn a small commission. So let's get started. So these are the tires that haven't been giving me a problem. These are trailer tires for my car trailer. These are 205 75 15s. So let me show you exactly how that tool works. You get the valve stem off, take this out. What this does, it goes between the rim and the tire, and then as you turn it, it actually pushes down on the bead and pops it. So it's going to push down a little bit, try to get it in between the bead and the tire, and then I'm going to tighten this till this gets pretty much straight up and down with the tire, and it's pushing it towards the inside, as you can see. There we go. I'll show you what that looks like. And then once I got that, I'm going to grab this. All this is soapy water. And go around the tire, and then just going to start tying down this. Just keep on turning. Just pushing the bead down. Look how nice this thing works. And then, just watch your toes. I'll go around it, step on it a little bit. And that's it. It says you can use an impact with this tool, but I'm not. I'm just using it to unscrew it. That was quick and easy. No more trying to use the tractor blade. Try to push down this edge. Sometimes you can use it, but this tool is so small, it could fit in your toolbox. So, I don't know, I think this is my new favorite little tool. Do the other side now. The manufacturer does not recommend using a hammer, but you see how I just pushed it in there? Push it down, and then you got this, you can push down with your hand, wiggle it in, and then we'll use the as you can see, it's going perpendicular to the tire and the rim. And what they recommend is this portion of this bolt to be perpendicular to the tire before you start trying to pop the bead. As you can see, it's pulling these little teeth or wedges in between the tire and the rim. And then once it's pretty much straight, it's almost bottomed out, but there's still some threads there. I like putting some of the soapy water around the rim. And then you can start tightening it down. Wear glasses if you're doing this, because it is soapy water. It's not going to do anything, but when it can, the bead popping, I know if there's no air in it, but it can still throw some debris or soapy water up into your face and eyes. So it's pretty much bombed out. I'm not going to tighten it anymore, but I'm going to step on the bead. If you're stepping on the bead, don't step this way, because if you're wearing boots, your foot can get between that. You know, it might, like that, it might pinch it. So what I like to do is step with the heel, you know, and push down on them, so your foot won't go in between there. Because that's happened, especially if you're going to be wearing sneakers, which shouldn't, but you know, things happen. More stuff on. There you go. Let's do another one. See, it's not really sitting very nice. That's what you don't want to do with an impact, because you want it to get in there pretty nice and even. You see how it's not sitting? It's not sitting very good. So with doing it with the impact, you might run into problems, either damaging the rim or the tool. Just loosen it up, and if it doesn't sit right, try pushing down a little bit more, loosen it, and it actually sat that time. As soon as it gets vertical, perpendicular to the tire and rim, you're good to go. This is a nice little tool. tool. It's called the Bead Buster XP-450i, and it's made in the USA. None of the ways that I've broken beads in the past worked on these rims. For whatever reason, some of the smallest tires gave me the biggest problem. I am going to sand down the rims, clean them up, and paint them. The rims are done. They're painted and ready to get the tires installed. I did a quick sanding and then cleaned them up. I primed them twice and I painted them twice with satin black. I'll show you what they look like. These are the rims. They're all done. And these are the tires that are going on. I have a new valve I'll be putting in. And that's pretty much simple. Grab a tool or whatever you have to use and screw it down. Then line it up to wherever you can see. Just notice. You want to keep it as vertical as you can. See how this is crooked? Line it up with the notches. You don't want it sitting like that. You can see? See how it's tilted in one direction or the other? You want to try to keep it as even as you can. And when you pull up, you're going to pull straight up. If I have it in one direction, you see it's not really pulling up very easily. Find a spot where it actually goes up. It's a little bit on an angle. That's perfect right there. That's the second slot on that. And then what you do is just pop it up. And that's it. And then screw it. And you're done. So I am going to put some cardboard down because once I put the tire lubricant on, I don't want it picking up any dirt or sand or salt from the ground. I have the tire. I don't do tires that often, so I don't have a dedicated bottle. I just use a gallon water jug and I put the fluid in there, mounting fluid. And all I'm gonna do is just put it. I'm gonna do one side at a time because I am gonna use balance beads. So I'm gonna do one side at a time and then do the rest. Get that on. What I'm gonna do is just push the tire on. Sometimes tires go on good, easy. Other times they need a little bit of persuasion. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the beads. So what I have is balance beads. This is what I'm using. And what I'm going to do is drop them in there. That's it. I'm trying not to make too big of a mess so I can show you, how I do everything. And then I'm slowly going to lower this to keep the beads from falling out of those tires. And it's on. We get the compressor on and we'll pump this up. Whenever I inflate the tires, I always mount them back on the axle to prevent any type of explosion with the tire popping or the rim breaking or anything. So I usually just mount it back on the axle and then inflate it. If you have a tire cage, you can put the tire in that cage. I don't have one, so that's why I do it this way. And that's too low. I gotta move that up because this axle dropped a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can get it on that one. So this is a little bit higher. I'll do it this way. I just put that piece of wood there just to have a little bit of an extra piece of insurance. Only put 2 bolts on. Start the next one. That's that. Grab the tire. And get the tire on. I try to get as much as I can all the way around. And the last portion of it, I'll do it with the tire inside. I'll grab the balance beads. These tires are ST225/75 R15s. And this manufacturer recommends balance beads of 83 grams. I'm going to lift it and gently pour it in there. Put the cup away, close the lid, put some more of this on. And then slowly, I'm going to place the tire down so none of the balance beads come out. So you're going to work one way around the other. I'm holding my foot on this side, on the right side, and I'm slowly working the bead around that side. And I'm trying to get it up underneath that rim so it's at the center of the rim. And sometimes you can feel when it actually rolls into that groove, because you can actually just work it around and it gets right in. That's it for this one. I'm gonna take this over and get it mounted on the trailer and put some air in it. We'll get this remounted. When I fill these up with air, I'm not standing next to it. I'm about 15 feet back. Because even from there, I can hear when the bead pops. So all I do is hook up the chock, and then I'll fill the air from over here, and just listen to it when the tire pops. I heard the second side pop, and you have a little bit of time because as soon as I disconnect it, I don't know how much pressure's on it, but I'll release that. I still got a little bit on this side that it didn't, right there. So let's just plug it back in, start up the air again. Just be safe. You don't want to be right on top of it unless you have a tire machine. I'll check this, and I'll check the back. I'll switch out the chock. These tires, they're 80 psi max at cold, and they hold. The max load for a single tire is 2,890 pounds at 80 psi. This one's at 40. The tires are 45. Got a whole bunch of leaks on these airlines, so I gotta straighten out. Put the caps on, and we'll take this tire off, so we're ready for the next one. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Let's get a close-up this time. Take the cap off, feed it through the hole, insert the tool, and gently find out which notch, which on this rim it was the second notch, and just gently pull it until it pops through. There you go. Unscrew that. And put the cap back on for now. Grab the next tire. Try to get this angle for you. Lift the tire, gently pour them in. And put some more tire lubricant on, and then slowly place it down. Start on one side and just slowly work your way around. And step away. Cap on. I'll remove this, get ready for the next one. If you have the small tire irons, invest in some of these larger ones. It's so much easier. You don't have to bend over, you know, to actually get them mounted or pried. You're just standing up. These are about 3 foot long. These are nice. These are the ones I use for pretty much everything, other than smaller tractor tires or the quad tires. So that's all set. So I got 3 mounted so far. And we'll grab the other tire and we'll continue. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Took me about, I don't know, about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So I hope you liked watching how I mount my tires. If you found a tip or trick that I do that you haven't, I'm glad you got something from this video. And again, if you feel uncomfortable mounting and dismounting tires, don't do it. Just be comfortable with what you're doing. Take your tires to the tire shop. It's not worth getting hurt if you don't know what you're doing or if you're not sure of what you're doing. So take care and thank you for watching this video.